From the 10th Annual Beaufort International Film Festival, Scott Lansing and David Barnhart. The film is Kepulihan, When the Waters Recede. I probably mangled the name, as usual, but has to do basically with following the survivors of the tsunami in Sumatra over a decade ago. You spent a decade, David, following this story. That's an astonishing amount of dedication. Tell me a little bit about how it took to get through this.
We started initially right after the tsunami with 26 survivors, and then interviewed each of those families, and then over 10 years it just narrowed it down to 10, and then to 8, and then we originally cut a film of 4, and then now with this documentary we did 1. But really, we had each family and each person kind of participate in the process, so we would shoot an interview, sit down and watch it, and talk about what they talked about, brainstorm with them about what kind of images can you use to tell that story, and then go out and shoot with them and get those images to kind of, so they kind of direct the process.
Sort of interactive.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So,
and as an editor here, this guy tells his own story. I mean, it's very effective. How'd you go about crafting it? What were those challenges?
I mean, David has a narrative style, and I think we really meet. Not that we're different, but he has a very profound style that's very different than a lot of narratives I worked on. So I really enjoy it, and I think there's a bit of a zen in the style that he shoots. So he wants time to enjoy the moment and to allow what I would call mind theater, allow you to look at it and to think about, give you time to think about what you're watching and you listen to the words. So once you kind of get in pace with that, it kind of allows you as an editor to make his vision kind of come true. So yeah.
Emotionally, this is something that came up in the Q&A after the film, the screening. You're literally watching this guy create his second chance at life, along with another family, and you sort of have some parallels there that are emotionally affecting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was the first trip after was so difficult because there was so much loss. There was so many people that lost their entire families. I mean, Mr. Yachty lost 16 family members, and so initially it was really difficult. I remember coming home at night after shooting all day and doing interviews and just being drained. I couldn't even talk. I couldn't move, just from what you hear all day, what you heard. But then over time, we got to see him kind of reclaim his life again, and see him, what kind of guided him and grounded him as he rebuilt his life over 10 years. And we wanted it to be in his words and what he had to say. So it's almost like a journal of his recovery.
Years later, he's still pulling bones out of his fields. Yeah. So, and let's just talk, we discussed this a little bit before we came on, a lot of bad photography in documentary films. This was beautifully shot. Let's get geeky. What did you shoot it on?
We actually shot this predominantly on the 5D, and then the early stuff, we have a lot of standard depth footage that previous DP, Scott Kepulihan, shot with David. And that was, what's your camera?
And then the Panasonic AF100.
Yeah, was at the time. So we continue to adapt based on the advancements in the technology.
So how do you plan out the shoot like this? You've got a story that you need to tell. You need to convey it visually while there's an awful lot of narration going on. So you go, well, I need a lot of time lapse. I need this, I need that. And you plan the shots out pretty thoroughly?
We try in the editing or in the actual shooting. The process is to do the interview with him, then talk afterwards, sit down and either watch it with him or talk about with him. This is what you talked about. How do you want to tell that? Where should we go to tell that story? Well, we should go to the field. My son always meets me out at the field. Let's go shoot out there to show that. Like, we let him kind of direct us in those images, and then when you're out there, we both kind of had a meditative approach to filmmaking or to shooting. It's just let yourself be present there and see what's there, and listen to the sights and sounds and kind of capture what he talked about.
We have very minimalists. We don't have a lot of equipment out there. Oftentimes we're adapting, flipping tripods over and using them as balance and to walk the camera upside down. We make an attempt to use time lapse wherever possible where it fits in, and we try to lock down our shots to give us time to observe it like a photograph. So.
And it's an absolutely beautiful country. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah,
it's just stunning, and so it's there. It's just there. You just got to have the time to really capture it. And
We've also worked with a great colorist, Chris Roach, who went back in, and he works in Sabotage with us, and he went in and I think both films did all the color correction. So.
It was good, nice effort, and beautiful response from the audience as well, and we'll talk about your other film another time. All right, get more at BeaufortFilmFestival.com and LowCountryWeekly.com.